All right, so that's the Rocky Road Blues. And as I said, I got that from my dad. I was talking to my dad about this song the other day, and he heard me sing that Red River verse, the last verse that I sang there. And he had never heard that verse before. I remembered that I picked that up off of an old June Apple record done by a group called the Home Folks, which was mostly some folks from there in Southwest Virginia, not far from Whitesburg. They did that song. They did a great version of it that was fairly bluesy. And my dad had not heard that verse, but we talked about it a little bit. My grandfather was born very close to the Red River that runs through East Kentucky. And when he was young. I think he was 10 or 12. And his family moved from Estill County to Clark County, and they followed the Kentucky River. Is what the family said, up the Kentucky River toward Clark County. And when they got to the mouth of the Red River there, they settled over into Clark County and worked on farms, my great-grandfather, for many years. My grandfather was born in 1892 up in Estill County, and that was right at the turn of the century that they moved to Clark County, where they played music for many years. My Uncle Silas, who was just a little bit older than my grandfather, was a fiddle player. One of the old guys that my dad met after his family died out was talking about how when he was a little boy, he followed them into Clark County when they were moving there because they were playing fiddle and guitar, or fiddle and banjo, wasn't clear which, when they were little boys on the back of a wagon, being moving into the farms of Clark County there. Anyway, I don't know if that verse came from my grandfather. Like many of those old country blues songs, a lot of those verses were just shuffled around from one blues song to the other. So there's not, there's some pieces of that aren't original. Obviously, they're just folk songs that are passed around. Anyway, the picking style that I learned, my dad said that his dad didn't teach him this. My dad's dad died when my dad was 13, and he really didn't get to pick up near as much music from him as he had hoped. But his older sister knew how to play this tune real well, and showed it to him. And then there, as I said before I started playing, there were some old folks, family members and other folks around town that knew how my grandfather played this. So basically we're in the key of E, and I'm using 3 fingers, kind of like a banjo, or kind of like the Travis style picking, the Merle Travis style picking. So the idea, and I don't execute this perfectly well, but the idea is that you're going to be playing an alternating bass pattern with your thumb on the low notes, on the low strings. That's the kind of pattern you're doing. So it's like top string, 5th string, 6th string, 5th string. That's what your thumb's doing. Okay, so what's going on down here on the other strings is do what Doc Watson used to call a tickle, where you hammer on. So you're gonna, in an E chord, the 3rd string, and I'm counting from the bottom up, the 3rd string, you start off with that note open, and then you hammer it on with your index finger to the 1st fret, where you're right in the position of that E chord. You get a little finger pattern going here. Okay, so that hammer on, so I'm playing 3 strings there, the top string, and the second string and third string while hammering on that third string. And then I'm going back to the third string after that with my index finger of my right hand. And so it's index finger, then thumb on the 4th string, and then I'm playing the 2nd string fretted with my pinky on the 2nd fret. And when you get that, if you can get to where you get some pinky strength built up and bend that just a little bit. So that's the pattern. So after you play that 2nd string at the 2nd fret, you go right back to the top string with your thumb. Repeating that same thing over where you do that little hammer on it. Then you kind of finish off that phrase with just a, so that's 3rd, 4th, open, 1st string. Okay, then you go to an A chord, and you start it off like this. So you're making the A chord barred with your index finger, and you are going to play with the pinky the 5th fret of the 1st string. So that's the A part. So or the A chord part. So you start with a bass note on the A on the 5th string, and then you're going to play. Then you're going to play the 4th string. You just keep it fretted here with your A chord, and you're going to play the 4th string and the 1st string at the same time with that pinky position. So bass, then, all right, that's the next move. The next move is you're going to play 2 strings at the same time, which is the 1st string, 3rd fret with your middle finger, and the open 6th string. So it starts with, and then you. So the next notes are, okay, 2nd string with your index finger. You're going to play the 2nd string, 2nd fret, just holding that A chord the whole time. And then with your thumb, you're going to play the 3rd string. Then back to the 2nd string with your index finger. The E chord part. And you go to a B7. So that's this B7 form. So if you know this, it's a pretty typical chord to play when you're playing in blues E. So it is. start with the middle finger on the 5th string, index finger 4th string, 2nd fret, ring finger 3rd string. I'm sorry. Okay, let me start over. Okay, so it is the middle finger 5th string 2nd fret, index finger 4th string 1st fret, ring finger 3rd string 2nd fret, pinky 1st string 2nd fret. You leave the 2nd string open. So when you go to that B, you're going to go. So you're going to go. I'm going to tell you strings to pick and which finger to pick them with. You're just going to hold that chord. So you're going to go thumb on the 5th string, then index finger on the 3rd string, then thumb on the 4th string, then middle finger on the 2nd string. And then you're going to, so after you do that little pattern, you're going to go with your thumb to the 6th string, but you're going to move your middle finger from the 5th string to the 6th string. I told you wrong. I'm playing, when I use my middle finger here, I'm playing the 1st string, not the 2nd string. So you just do that really one time. So then you're doing this slide. So just keep these 2 fingers down and slide them up to the 4th fret. Then 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then E chord. And that is the Rocky Road Blues. I hope you enjoy picking it.